It's Friday, June 15th, 2018. We're going to get into this real quick. This is Van Ren 10 on Sports. And Kahwi Leonard wants to be a Laker. I guess it's breaking news about an hour ago. But, I got to work for a living. I got to do things. So Kahwi Leonard, I guess, met with Popovich. He wants out. He doesn't want to be a San Antonio Spur anymore. And he wants to go to the Lakers. Okay? What are the Lakers going to have to give up to get him? You're going to have to give up a couple of your young stars. You're going to have to give up, probably more than likely, you're going to have to give up Ingram, maybe Randall. Definitely you're going to have to give up either Kuzma or you're going to have to give up Lonzo Ball. You're going to have to give up a combination of Lonzo Ball or Kuzma with a Randall or an Ingram. And you're going to have to give up that first-round draft pick. So whether it's Ball and Ingram and the first-round pick, or Kuzma, Ingram, first-round pick, Kuzma, Randall, first-round pick, or Ball, Randall, first-round pick, you're going to have to give up two young players, and that pick to get Kahwi Leonard. Now, this is very new, so I'm still trying to kind of, ingest all of this. The good could be that Kahwi Leonard going to the Lakers would draw LeBron James. And that still means you could still technically get Paul George. Because if Kawhi's there, Paul George opts out of his contract, and LeBron goes there, you could have Paul George, LeBron James, and Kahwi Leonard. And that's without knowing if you're keeping Kuzma, Ball, Ingram, and Randall, or what parts of those. And who cares about your first round pick? If you can get Kahwi Leonard there, and you can get LeBron James there, why wouldn't Paul George opt out of that contract to go there now? Because he wanted to go there anyway. Now, there are a lot of people that are saying he may stay in Oklahoma City. But if Kawhi's there, if LeBron is there, why wouldn't Paul George go there? Now, is there enough money for the Lakers to pay all these guys? Because Kahwi Leonard, I think, is 1 year left on his contract. So that money is pretty much just going to sit there. LeBron's going to cost you max money. LeBron's already said no matter where he goes, it's going to cost you max money. And then Paul George is probably going to cost you a lot as well, even though I don't think he was that great last year. He's still a veteran player that's pretty good, so you're still going to have to pay him a lot of money. But can you imagine the Lakers with Kahwi Leonard, Paul George, and LeBron James? Now, let's say you keep Julius Randle, or you keep Ingram. Let's say you keep Ingram. You get rid of Randle, and you get rid of Kuzma, which is a player they say is a lot like Kahwi Leonard, so it probably makes more sense to get rid of him. Your starting lineup, it probably would be something along the lines of Lonzo Ball, Paul George, Kahwi Leonard, LeBron James, and Ingram. So that would probably be your starting five, unless you want to re-sign. I can't remember the center that they had. I think it was one of the Lopez's. If you want to sign Lopez again, maybe. But could you imagine a starting five, even if it's Lopez, even if Lopez is maybe your starting center, with Kahwi Leonard, Paul George, LeBron James, and Lonzo Ball. Now, it's kind of a big lineup, which isn't the worst thing in the world, because I think with the talent that Kahwi Leonard has and LeBron James has, you could get away with that lineup. It would be super talented. Now, your bench is still going to be young and not as strong, but with all that, you may get some of those free agent pieces that go there. That maybe they sit there and go, ooh, I could win a championship there, take a little less money, and get the ring, seeing as I've already made money elsewhere. Why not? So it could be a good thing there. Now, let's say Kawhi Leonard goes there and LeBron still doesn't want to. And now you've given up you've given up 2 out of those 4 players and that draft pick. Does Kawhi Leonard make a difference? Does Kawhi Leonard take that team to a place that it couldn't have gone with the young players instead of having Kawhi Leonard? Kawhi Leonard, I liked Kawhi Leonard before this last season. I don't like that he stayed out with the injury that he had. I think a lot of it had to do with he wasn't really happy with Popovich, but he might be a head case. So let's go into the bad of trading for Kawhi Leonard if you're the Lakers. How do you know he's going to like playing for Walton? What if he doesn't like playing for Walton? Then you've got the same problem again. Unless you get rid of Walton and then you're going to bring in whoever, Kawhi Leonard. I'm sorry, but Kawhi Leonard is not LeBron James. Kawhi Leonard, in my opinion, should not be able to dictate who the coach is. Kawhi Leonard, when we look back 20 years from now, we're not going to put him in the same category as LeBron. Kawhi is a nice player. He really is. He's a superstar in this year's NBA, in this time. But is he worth the trouble? Is he worth a player that is going to pout, basically? And I'm going to say it, he was pouting. If he could, or pouting or being a baby, not playing through this injury when all these doctors were clearing him and saying, you're fine. And the San Antonio Spurs are one of those organizations that gives you a little bit more time to heal than most organizations. Their doctors are a little bit more willing to say, all right, take it easy a little bit longer and we'll reevaluate you later. So it's not like the Spurs have doctors that are like, you're fine. It's like the bone is sticking out of the skin. We put it back inside. Get out on the court. No, they don't do that. They are a lot more easygoing. It's a lot more easygoing of a culture because Popovich, he's been notorious for letting players rest, have time off, have games off. He was one of the guys that started this whole thing because he didn't want his players to get overworked, so he would let them have time off, give them games here and there, and so they would be ready for the playoffs. Popovich has 5 championships with that process put in place. And a lot of people love playing for Pop, but Kawhi doesn't. I don't think he's worth the effort. I don't think Kawhi Leonard is worth giving up young players for. Because if Kawhi is going to be an injury problem and then he's going to be a head case on top of it. Now, if Kawhi Leonard can bring Paul George and LeBron James, I'll take Kawhi Leonard. Because I'm going to get Paul George and LeBron James, and I'm still going to have a lot of my young core talent still there. And I can still win with LeBron, George, and some of that core talent. And with Kawhi, if Kawhi decides that he wants to play, he's a great player to have play. So you could have a lot of really talented players in one place. Now, this is assuming that Mr. Popovich is going to do what Kawhi Leonard says. Now, you're basically telling Greg Popovich, I don't like you. I don't want to play for you. That's basically what you're saying, Kawhi. And then you're telling him, I want to go to the Lakers. And now Popovich, who we know is a little bit prickly, to be nice about it, he might sit there and say, you know what? I'm not going to get fair market value for you no matter where I trade you. So I may trade you to a team that just needs you for 1 year. And I'm not going to get much for it. I get it. I understand. But I'm going to make you go play somewhere else for 1 year. You're not going to the Lakers. I'm not sending you to the Lakers. I might send you to the Clippers, but I'm not sending you to the Lakers. I'm not sending you where you want to go. I may send you to Cleveland after LeBron is gone. And I'm going to make sure LeBron is gone before I send you to Cleveland. I'll send you up there for 1 year. And it's like, and don't get me wrong, I have nothing against Cleveland, but without LeBron James, that team is going to struggle. So that's the only reason I'm saying Cleveland, because it's going to struggle without LeBron. And there's no guarantee LeBron's gone. Don't quote me, don't put that there either. Remember, LeBron may stay. He hasn't signed with anybody yet. So, I mean, and I'm kind of a vindictive person. I may look at it and sit there and go, I'm not going to get fair market value for Kawhi Leonard. I'm just not, because everybody knows that I'm in a corner anyway. So I may look at a team and sit there and I'm going to get phone calls from other teams. Other teams are going to call him. So he may get calls from contenders that sit there and want Kawhi Leonard. Why not? Why not? I mean, if you're a team that's real close to getting over the top for a championship, why not? Why not sit there and go, what would you take? What would you take? What can we offer you that we could get him for 1 year? Because we're only going to get him for 1 year, so we're not giving you any of our best young talent. But what would you take? Look at our roster. Give us an idea of what you'd take within reason. Give us 3 or 4 players on the roster that you'd like. And then we'll pick, 1 or 2 of them, and we'll try to work something out. Why not? What about Houston? You're staying in Texas. You're not giving up Paul George, or you're not giving up Chris Paul. You're not giving up Harden. Shouldn't give up a lot of these players, but maybe Kawhi Leonard on that team pushes him over the top. So maybe D'Antoni for 1 year says, let's just see if Popovich will do a deal with us. Now that's in the West, so we should probably look more in the East. But I can't think of any teams in the East right now that really... I don't see the 76ers trading away a lot of young talent, although they might. Because the 76ers have parted with some of their young talent in the recent past pretty easily. So maybe Philadelphia sits there and goes, we'll throw you a couple of bones and let us have Kawhi Leonard for a year. I don't think that's the best. What about Boston? Boston could throw him a couple of bones, throw him, like I said, I haven't had a lot of time to really look at this. But let's not assume that Kawhi Leonard is going to win this year. Because Popovich, he may throw a wrench into this and go, I don't care if you want to go to the Lakers. I want to trade you here. They only want you for 1 season. I'm not going to get what I need from you, but I'm not going to let you go where you want to go either. Because you've already come out and said you don't want to play for me. You made it difficult for us last year. You abandoned the team last year, so I'm not going to make it easy for you going forward. You'll eventually get to the Lakers, but you're going to spend 1 year somewhere else. Now, let's hope everybody is just adults. Popovich is able to work out something. I don't know if Popovich is actually the GM, but I think he has a lot to say. But let's hope cooler heads prevail. And Kawhi Leonard ends up where he wants to go, and hopefully he's happy. And he'll end up with the Lakers, and the Lakers won't have to give up the whole team for him. Give up a couple of players and a draft pick. Put Kawhi Leonard on the team, and then see what else happens. Why not? If you're San Antonio, you get a couple of decent young players and a higher draft pick. And Kawhi Leonard can go to the Lakers, and they can start to rebuild there. So what do you think about the whole Kawhi Leonard thing? Let me know down in the comments below. With all that being said, to the troops, past, present, and future, thanks for the freedom.